What is up guys, JayFerGaming here, welcome back to my F1 2016 career. This is round 16, the Malaysian Grand Prix, and I actually totally forgot about this race. Usually it's the second race on the calendar, so it's really strange to be racing at this time of the season here. But if you're new to my channel, do remember to subscribe and also leave a like to show your support for this video. Another thing is, if you do subscribe, you'll see F1 XL highlights. Season 8 has started, and I have decided to start producing the highlights again, so do look out for that. But concentrating on this career with the Malaysian Grand Prix. No R&D updates as we cease the R&D until next season, and yeah, we're in a rivalry with Kimi Räikkönen, and after one race we're being absolutely battered. So he could actually win the rivalry in 2 races, which is not good at all, but there's confirmation that development has ceased. We are the 4th quickest car in terms of performance in that chart, so yeah, I'd expect us to hopefully get 5th in the constructors standings and hopefully maintain, I think it's 7th in the driver standings, but you can see we've done pretty well recently, apart from crashing out in Singapore. So into qualifying now, and it was scheduled to rain near the end of the session, so I was just blasting in laps at the start. I've currently done 2 laps, got myself up to P11, but this lap we're more than half a second up, so hopefully we'll shoot up that order and get solidly into the top 10. But I think this was actually my final lap because the heavens did open, but it's looking good. Coming to the line, nearly 7/10 up. What's it going to be? And P7, I'm very happy with that, and we actually did stay there because, as I said, it did start to rain. So yeah, that is a very good performance, nearly best of the rest behind the top 3 teams, but Danny Kvyat beat me by 2/10. But it's nice to be beating our teammate and probably the Williams, who we're trying to overhaul in the constructors standings, but I think that's probably one step too far. So we're battling Toro Rosso, and yeah, in the rain as well for race day. Of course, classic Malaysian weather, and as you can see, the weather forecast: heavy, light, none, and then light again. So I think it could be a race with quite a few pit stops. So I don't think we'll need as much fuel as usual. And you never know, there could be a safety car with all this weather around. So it's going to be interesting. I do like this track. It feels like absolutely ages since I've last driven it because it's so far down on the calendar now. But yeah, wet conditions. I've performed pretty well in wet conditions in this career so far, so I'm expecting something good. We are behind our rival again. It's like straight behind him, Räikkönen. So if we could beat him, that would be absolutely amazing. But I feel like the transition to dry conditions might hurt us, but we'll see what happens. So building up to the start of the race, nice and moist, just how we like it. 5 lights in the Malaysian Grand Prix is away. We don't get a great initial getaway, but hopefully through the gears we can catch up and not get too much wheel spin. And Räikkönen's got a horrible start actually. Kvyat's passed. Bottas has got a brilliant start. We're looking for the gap here on the left, but no, Räikkönen forces us out, and we've actually locked up, clipped the back of him. Hopefully there's no damage, but we're going to try and go for the outside line. I'm checking the damage here. We're okay, so that's good. But on the inside of Räikkönen, trying to make up positions here, and especially against our rivals. So can we get better traction than him? We've lost a couple of positions from the start. Bottas got a flying start there. A bit of oversteer now, and there's so many cars so close to each other right ahead of us. We're trying to go up the inside of Vettel with Räikkönen on our inside. Oh, it looks like he's going to make contact with Bottas. That should affect their run. We've got Vettel. We're trying to go through the middle of everyone. There's 5 cars just so close to each other. 3 wide into this left-hander. This is incredible racing. We've got Räikkönen. I think we've got Kvyat as well. 3 overtakes very quickly there. And now we're on the back of the Williams, which is a team well known for not performing well in wet weather conditions. So we'll hopefully be able to get ahead of him as quick as possible. But that start was absolutely brilliant. 5 cars separated by inches, and it was just fantastic racing from everyone. And I thought, yeah, let's slip it up the inside of the Williams, see if he can defend. Don't think he can, because I feel like he would slow us up. And now we're up to P5. Fantastic start after a bit of a shaky getaway, especially with the slight contact into the back of Räikkönen. But yeah, let's see if we can catch up to the 2 Red Bulls who are battling ahead of us. And you can see the 2 Mercedes just in the distance as well. But at the end of lap 2, I was pretty surprised because we're coming to the end of the lap. Fastest lap of the race so far. I know it's early doors, but we were faster than everyone else, and we're actually closing in just by a few tenths to the 2 Red Bulls, and it was the same again on the next lap. Another fastest lap of the race. We are actually incredibly quick in this Renault. So it shows the Renault can perform in the wet, because I have done okay in wet conditions, but I've seemed to excel in the intermediate conditions. And talking about intermediate conditions, that's what we have at the moment. It's time for us to come into the pits. And kind of surprisingly, Verstappen and Rosberg don't come in, but obviously they would have stacked. So maybe going around for them wouldn't hurt their chances too much. So we're coming in with Hamilton and Ricciardo, slowing down for the pit line, and let's see if we can get a good stop, as I think our teammates followed us into the pits. I didn't tell my team I was coming in, but I'll get service first. Coming down, I was in P12, so there's quite a few cars that are still on the wet tyres, but it definitely feels like intermediate conditions. I could tell coming into the pits that the wets weren't gripping to the track as they were before, and now we're getting stuck behind a couple of wet tyre runners. It's Ericsson and Haryanto, so this is going to give me an opportunity of getting Ricciardo, because I know he won't go for it here. The AI seem to like to follow each other. It's like follow the leader with them sometimes, but we go up the inside, but he actually gets decent traction, so fights back, and yeah, I don't think I'm going to get the move done here, so we'll need to look for another opportunity. Ricciardo's all over Haryanto, and I'd love to get Haryanto back, especially after Singapore, where in the dry conditions I actually got overtaken by Haryanto in the manner. That's not really something to shout about, but yeah, that did happen, and yeah, these guys are annoying me. They're so slow. Ricciardo just won't overtake the manner. So we get the double overtake into that famous corner where I'm usually terrible, but you'll see later on, I actually do pretty well. So we're going for the move on Ericsson. Hopefully he doesn't come directly into the pits, because we need to get ahead of him, and I think we've got it done. Yes, we have. Up to P9, Gutierrez ahead into the pits. And I think Verstappen and Rosberg should be in the pits now, so we've had an extra lap. Well, we've had a lap on these intermediate tyres, so let's see if we can jump them. That was a solid lap for us, even though we did get held up a little bit. Let's have a look to the right. Is that Rosberg? That's Verstappen, so we're incredibly close. Can we jump both Red Bulls? We give them enough room, probably slightly a bit too much room. Didn't want to make contact there, but up to P3. Brilliant stuff here. We've got the strategy perfect so far, and we're driving so well in these conditions, but I do know the drier the track gets, then yeah, the better the Red Bulls and Mercedes are going to be, and the track is really drying out now. You can see a dry line is starting to form, and that's giving Verstappen a shot at getting us into turn 1, but we're going to go defensive. Can we keep the position, the podium position, which I'm not really expecting to keep, but I'm going to try my best in this Renault, hopefully get some good points for us. And we defend very nicely there and maintain our third position. It's not like we're incredibly slow, it's just the Red Bulls are clearly quicker than us. But yeah, lap 11 now. I feel like it's time to pit. There's a very big obvious dry line there, so coming into the pits, and yeah, you'll see I do a great job coming into the pits here. Oh, totally locking up, taking down the 80 kilometers per hour marker, and yeah, luckily he's sustaining no damage, and unluckily for us we get jumped by the Red Bull of, I think that's Ricciardo, yes. So Rosberg and Verstappen, I think, have gone round again. So they might lose out once again. We've gone for the hard compound tyres, and we seem to be gripping to the track a lot better than Ricciardo, so we're going to slip it up his inside. I need to stop saying that because that really does sound wrong, but we've up to P5. Sainz ahead of us, still on the intermediate tyre, so he should be struggling. And it definitely shows that Rosberg and Verstappen are going to struggle on this lap, so we might be able to jump them, who knows, but in terms of strategy, I decided to go for hard because, as we saw before the race, it is expected to rain near the end, so the AI seem to be going for the medium tyres, so surely they'd have to pit again. Surely they can't go another, what, 15 laps until the rain comes, something like that. That's just a prediction, but even if it doesn't rain, we have a shot at going to the end where the AI haven't. So yeah, this could be a master stroke. We'll see what happens. So you saw us easily get past Sainz on the intermediate tyres, and to the right we should see Rosberg. Or we won't see Rosberg because we've actually jumped him with Verstappen. So our genuine position is P2. We really do. I've really excelled with strategy calls in this career so far. Usually I cock it up. I can definitely admit that, but this is the corner I was talking about. I always struggle with it, but I think that's a very good line through there with a decent bit of speed as well. So for me, that's a brilliant corner. But Rosberg's on the attack, dry conditions. He's going to be much faster than us, especially with the softer compound. And something that really disappointed me. Double DRS, that's new for this year. I didn't know that. I thought I'd get DRS here to fight back against Rosberg, but no. Now I'm at the mercy of the two Red Bulls, but I'm not really fighting it too much because I feel like they're going to make an extra pit stop than us. It's actually Ferrari, not Verstappen. Verstappen must have lost out quite a bit, but I feel like fighting here would be unnecessary because we're going to be ahead of these cars later on, because surely they're going to have to make an extra pit stop. And oh, beautiful through that corner. Absolutely loving life at the moment. Though I am about to get overtaken, but it's a Ferrari, so it's not too bad. It's actually my rival as well, Kimi Raikkonen. Verstappen's close behind, and once again we're going to lose out by not getting DRS. I really didn't know that it did shock me at first, and I think in real life that's going to affect the racing in a negative way, because the single DRS and then the next detection point, I think that made that more exciting because the other car could fight back. But yeah, I've got no chance here against Verstappen, so he's through. So hopefully these cars will pit again, and we might see each other later on, or hopefully I'll be ahead of them. And we've just seen Kvyat's out the race. Engine failure, of course, like it always is, but you can see the smoke, no smoke, then smoke reappears. I thought that was a little bit strange. But the Toro Rosso is out the race after a great qualifying session for him as well. So lap 17 here, we get an awful exit out the final corner. Now it's Sebastian Vettel. He probably should easily get ahead of us, and it looks like he's going to go for it. He's actually a bit further behind than the other cars were, but he's going to go for it now. And now we're behind all the expected cars, really. I think in a normal dry race, we'd probably be aiming for P7 if there was no incidents or anything. So I'm not too disappointed with this, even though we're running in P2. But yeah, I feel like with strategy, we could make something happen. So we'll wait a little bit later on. Vettel goes into the pits at the end of that lap. And who's that? Ricciardo as well. Who's this ahead? Is that Hamilton or Rosberg? That is Hamilton. So effectively, we're all going to the end. So we're not going to fight Hamilton. He's definitely going to beat us with a much quicker car and the fresh, harder tyres. So he's going to breeze past us now. But the other cars who are going to... I think there's Verstappen, Rosberg are in the pits now, probably with Raikkonen. So it's going to be interesting to see our gap to them, because if we stay on these tyres till the end, they will be trying to overtake us in the latter stages. So yeah, interesting race at the end, I reckon. So there we go, up to P2, and you can see they're all in the pits. We've got a decent gap to them, so the question is, can we make these tyres last to the end? It was going to be very tight. Lap 23, I got told at this point that it's going to rain in 10 minutes, which would be after the race, so we'd have to run these tyres to the end, and I'm going to be honest, I couldn't do it. I knew, I think it was our front right was going to pop by the end. It would happen. So I'm going to come in, take the safe route, because, yeah, I feel like if we would have risked that strategy, we could have lost or dropped further down than P7, which is what I wanted at least. So we're going to go onto the soft tyres, and then let's see where we end up compared to the cars around us. It's a bit of a shame this strategy hasn't worked out, but yeah, I think I've done a decent effort. And actually, Bottas is down our left hand side. We're going to have to defend from him. He's on hard tyres. We've got the inside line, the fresh, very nice soft grip there, and we maintain 7th position. So I did try and chase after the cars ahead, but yeah, they were a bit too quick for me. So sadly nothing really happened in that final stint, but you can see from the clouds it is going to rain soon, but sadly not early enough for us to make one less pit stop. But yeah, that's been a successful race. I did enjoy that one. Hope you guys did as well. And we're coming to the line. A lot of rain, tricky conditions, changeable conditions, but it's P7 in Malaysia. A solid result and 6 more points to the tally for the team and ourselves. So yeah, all the championship battles goes on, and yeah, they're going to be very exciting in the final 6 races. Is a 6, but Lewis Hamilton takes another victory. His recent form has been fantastic, and that's going to bring him back into the title picture. He seemed miles away before, especially with Rosberg in 6th, who was leading the standings, and Vettel in 4th. So we've beaten Bottas, another solid drive from Alonso. Shame for Palmer, he only gets 11th and misses out on the points, and Kvyat is the only retiree as Haryanto beats Gutierrez. Way. So actually Hamilton's taken the lead of the standings. He's won the past 2 races. It's a close battle though. That's going to be very intense for the rest of the season between the top 3. Maybe Ricciardo, we'll wait and see, but we've got a 2-point lead over Bottas, aiming for 7th position by the end of the season. That would present a brilliant season, especially our first one with Renault. I didn't expect to be this high, but yeah, progression with the car, and my driving's improved as well, so it's all good at the moment. And where's Palmer? 16th with 16 points. That was my objective, to finish P16, so yeah, he's not doing too bad. Constructors solidly in 5th, just ahead of Toro Rosso and Force India. So yeah, another battle to go on. Can we catch Williams? That's the question. So if you've enjoyed the video, please leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more of my videos, and I'll catch you next time out. Goodbye.